All right, buenos dias, que onda, amigos? Welcome back to the channel, John's Motor Garage. As you can see here, we've got the Yamaha Road Star Warrior. Gonna jump on the bike and I'm gonna bash it, bro. I'm gonna show you everything I hate about this motorcycle. These are my dislikes on the Yamaha Road Star Warrior. Let's jump into it. All right, dislike number one, the lean angle. Check this out. See how easy it is to scrape there? It's like nobody's business, bro. Nobody's business. All right, obviously this is a cruiser. While labeled a performance cruiser, it is still a cruiser. And so the lean angle is not awesome. You're gonna be scraping the pegs. It's not a sport bike, even though you're gonna feel like you're on a sport bike. Number two reason is only applicable to the stock form of this bike, but the stock exhaust is one of the most hideous looking things I've ever seen. It's like a tin can attached to the back of your exhaust. It's a 2-in-1. It just looks horrible. So plan on doing an upgraded exhaust if it doesn't already have one. Reason number three, the stock handlebars as well. It's just these goofy, like, they don't know if they want to be drag bars or ape hangers. They're not really sure what they want to be or do. And so yeah, I'm not a fan of the stock handlebars either. But again, not the most difficult fix. Number four, these bikes have more than enough power to jump on the freeway and go as fast as you want and as far as you want to go. The only problem with this particular bike, which is similar with pretty much all your performance cruisers, is it's not comfortable for the super long hauls. The seat's not comfortable and the riding position's not comfortable. And I've seen people set these up like touring bikes, but it's just you know, they're not meant to be a touring bike, man. I actually had one back in the day that had a batwing fairing, believe it or not. And the thing was a monster for sure, but again, it's just not built for it. These things are a powerhouse, so you're gonna be power hungry when you jump on it. You're gonna be tempted to twist the throttle and ride wide open throttle, and it's gonna put you in that danger zone where you got that target. You're gonna be at risk for speeding, and it's just hard to pass up. So be careful out there. Hopefully you won't get any tickets. Of all the muscle bikes, this thing is a gnarly bike, but it's not the gnarliest of the muscle bikes. Your M109R, VTX 1800, and Harley V-Rod, your other V-twin muscle bikes that are high up there, and probably the Victories as well. This bike is actually on the more tame side. So if you're getting the bike just for sheer power and to be the, you know, king of the road as far as your performance cruiser, this is not going to be the one for that. It's air cooled, and so yeah, it doesn't stack up to those other bikes in that regard. Only in that regard though. So when you're riding at freeway speeds without a windshield or anything, the way it's got your feet with these forward controls and your bars, and this is not unique to this bike, but it makes you like a sail in the wind. And so it blows you around a little bit. Throw a little slap of windshield on there and it'll at least resolve that. Reason number five, Yamaha stopped making these, I believe, in 2009. And so on the used market, well, you have to buy one used nowadays. And their prices are going up now that the demand is a lot higher and the supply is lower. You see prices going up on these. If you buy the older 2002 to 2004s, you can get it in that 3 to 4K range, but otherwise people are asking an arm and a leg for them just because of that. And I don't think that the aftermarket support is huge, also because they just don't make them anymore. If you have an aftermarket exhaust, your neighbors are gonna hate you if you're commuting every day at 6 in the morning. Of course, that's not unique to the Yamaha Road Star Warrior. All right, here's something that I found is unique to this bike, and I've had a handful of these over the years that I've, you know, picked up and sold, and especially on the older ones. I don't know what the deal is, but this rubber piece here looks like it's rusted out, and it's just the most hideous looking thing. I have no idea, you know, what kind of plastic they use that causes it to look like that. I've never noticed it to functionally cause an issue, but it's just horrible looking, man. It really is. I don't know if you guys can see that too well from here, but yeah, I don't like it. These are really high compression engines, and with startup, again, this is one that this is something I've noticed on just about every one that I've had. Some it's worse than others, but with startup, especially if you put like an aftermarket exhaust on these, sometimes it's just really hard to fire these things up. I say really hard, it's not really hard to fire them up, it's just there's kind of like a delay in the startup. And I've noticed the same thing with some of the Harleys that I've had that are those higher compression engines. Oh my gosh, this stupid kickstand. Ugh. Much like the Yamaha Raider, the kickstand on this is not the most user-friendly. Hopefully this guy doesn't mind me taking a picture here real quick. On some of these older ones, again, I've noticed this on a few, around where you have Road Star Warrior on the tank in the paint, it chips a little bit. This isn't the first one that I've noticed. I've noticed this on a few. So just like a little bit of a poor finish there. This isn't going to be the most awesome bike when it comes to riding 2 up. So if you have a passenger, it's going to suck a little bit for them. This rear tire is on the wider side. Those wide rear tires, you have to muscle them a little bit. They cost a lot more to replace, and they don't last as long because you don't have that real thick tread. So you're going to be playing for rubber, and because it's such a beast of a bike, you're probably going to be tempted to be doing those burnouts and everything, and that tire will break loose if you get on it, especially when it's cold. Get ready to get squirrely, man, because it will happen. Dual disc in the front means dual brake pads, double the brake pad replacement when you got to replace those dang brake pads. You know, I've about exhausted all my dislikes on this bike. All right, so if you've made it this far, then you probably know whenever I do these, you know, things I hate about a motorcycle, I get pretty nitpicky. The reality is we're super spoiled to have all these different options when it comes to bikes. Every bike has the good and the bad, and I like to point out the good along with the bad, and those are some of the downsides of this bike. Now keep in mind, this is from the perspective of like a short-term ownership of this motorcycle. I know people who've had the bike a real long time could really get in depth with like certain quirks when it comes to the mechanics and all that kind of stuff and maintenance, but those are just some of the basics right off the bat. Riding the bike, things I can tell you that I don't necessarily love about it, but just because I hate that stuff about the bike doesn't mean I hate the motorcycle. I really am a big fan of these motorcycles, so I hope nobody's offended by these kinds of videos, but inevitably every time I do one I get the hate on it, but it's just the name of the game. But overall, there you have it, the Yamaha Road Star Warrior. That's what I hate about it, man. Drop a comment below, let me know what you guys think. Do you hate the bike? Do you love it? What are things you like or dislike about it? Stay tuned, I will do a video, if I haven't done it already, going over what I love about it. So we'll discuss that side of things as well. All right, that's going to do it. John's Moto Garage. Like and subscribe if you dig it. We'll catch you next time. Adios. Nos vemos.